All right, good morning, everybody. We are so excited to be back here live at Lion Country Safari in West Palm Beach, Florida. And we are super excited to tell you all about Santa Claus coming and the enrichments that you all made to help him and the elves put out for our chimpanzees. So I just want to go ahead and do some quick introductions, and let's start with Miss Courtney.
Hi, I'm Courtney. I was here last time. I've been working with the chimpanzees for about a year now, and I've been at Lion Country Safari for a few years.
Hi everyone, my name's Chelsea. I'm in our education department, and I've been at Lion Country now for 11 years.
Hi everyone, I'm Cody. I've been on the Chimp team for 5 years now, and I've been at Lion Country for a little over 7.
All right, so are you guys ready, or should we start rolling the video now, guys?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go ahead and cut to that video.
Well, boys and girls, children of all ages, ho ho ho, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. I want to thank you on behalf of Lion Country Safari for helping make these enrichment gifts for the chimpanzees. Our elves have been so busy up in the North Pole. These really help out a lot, so thank you from the bottom of my heart, and Mrs. Claus thanks you too. Ho ho ho. Courtney, it's such a pleasure to meet you in person this year.
It's so good to meet you, Sam.
Could you tell us, because I don't get to see what's in those packages, can you tell us some of the presents that the chimpanzees are receiving?
Yeah, so they got a lot of stuffed animals today, but they also got a lot of food. So we got papaya, onions, a lot of their favorite foods were in there, and yeah.
Oh my goodness, and of course they like the colorful packages too.
Oh yeah, they love colors. Anything that's big and vibrant, they'll gravitate right towards.
That's fantastic. Now, is it difficult for them to open the packages themselves, or are they pretty good at that?
They're pretty good at that. They're very, very strong animals, so they rip into things very, very quickly.
Wow,
Impressive.
that's fantastic. This is such great information. Now tell me, some of the food, is that part of their normal diet, or is that something that you're offering as a special Christmas treat?
So most of the food they did get today is part of their normal diet. We do have some older chimps that we're trying to watch their weight. Can't put too much of that on during Christmas time. But on real Christmas with the Chimps Day, they're going to be getting lots and lots of extra treats.
Wow, that sounds fantastic. I can certainly tell that they're really enjoying themselves by just the sounds they're making in the background. So I thank you so much for talking to me. It's been wonderful, and I've learned an awful lot, and I hope the children out there have also.
Thank you, Santa.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
All right, everybody, and we are back. We hope that you really enjoyed watching those videos with all of your enrichments and got to see firsthand some of your enrichments right on camera. I did want to mention, because we did have a ton of enrichments come through. Was that correct, Miss Chelsea?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so did all the chimpanzees get the enrichment, or was it just that one group of chimpanzees?
It was just that one group today. We do have a lot of the other presents that the other chimps will be getting from you guys on Christmas with the Chimps Day, but for that specific day, it was just 2.
So what we'll be able to do is also take some other photos, so that way we can send it back to the classrooms there, so those students will be able to see the chimps interacting with their special gifts that we made. So I just wanted to go back and mention, because I know we say a lot of enrichment, and we say enrichment, but Cody, can you tell us what exactly is enrichment?
So enrichment is anything that stimulates their mind, anything from different colors, something they can search through, something they can play with, any toy that you give them. But boxes, it's something they don't get every day, so it's something that is unique and different to that day. So a box, something as simple as that, you put food in there, they have to rip through it and investigate and use their brain to figure out how to get that food. That is enrichment.
So what I noticed, which I thought was kind of funny, because I was talking to Santa Claus when we were putting out some of those gifts for the chimpanzees, and Santa Claus and I noticed that the chimps are kind of taking their own presents and running off with them, where we kind of thought they would might share a little bit more. Cody, can you give us a little bit more explanation? Like, do they usually share their enrichments, or do they kind of like to hide them and keep them for themselves?
So chimps are as different from each other as humans are. So whereas some might be a little more inclined to share their gifts with each other, most of them are just way too excited. So they grab their box, they run off to kind of investigate their own present that they got. So they're mostly just kind of living in that excitement, and they want something for themselves. So you saw a lot of them grabbing their boxes and running off and kind of enjoying their own personal presents.
So Courtney, I have a question for you, since I know that you help put things in those boxes, and I know that you, when you're speaking with Santa Claus, you said that you had some stuffed animals that we put in there for the chimpanzees. What else did we put in there, and what is usually the prized possession that they love so much?
So we put a lot of food in there with their stuffed animals. They got a lot of stuff in their diet that day. I think this is onions, papaya. Their favorite thing to get is typically sweet fruits. So they love it.
So are there any special diets? So when you're throwing the enrichments to the chimps, are there any times where you want to make sure a chimpanzee doesn't get a certain present because maybe there's something in there, or is it kind of everybody can have the same thing?
So they're all very different from each other, so their diets obviously are pretty different as well, depending on which chimpanzee you're talking about. We do have some older chimpanzees that we don't want them getting too sugary fruits, so we'll try to work around them and give them a bit healthier items as opposed to the younger chimps, which might be a little bit better.
And I think this is a great time to highlight the work that our chimp keepers do, because they've actually worked with some of our older chimps from a safe distance on training them. So that way, because chimps, you guys know, have big hierarchies, and that means that one chimp might be on top and this one might not be as well, but they have trained the chimpanzees so that way they can make sure those older chimps get the vitamins that they need.
It's very hard sometimes for those older chimps what they need, because the younger ones are generally a little more energetic and run for everything that you get and you throw up to them. So you kind of have to distract the younger ones so you get the older ones the special foods that they need to maintain their conditioning and their weight.
So a couple questions that I keep seeing come through is, why did Santa Claus not get on the island and help? Cody, can you help answer that question for us?
Absolutely. So you saw how easily they're tearing through those boxes, their claws, their teeth, and their strength is 10 times stronger than a human. So we always service their islands when they're empty. We always maintain a safe distance from them. They're also naturally very aggressive, and they kind of defend their territory. It's just like you wouldn't want someone walking into your home. You don't just walk on their island, because that's their home and they see us as invaders, even though we do take care of them every day. They're very protective of not only their home, but their surrounding areas and their families.
And I think that's one really important thing that Santa Claus respects too, is because he knows that the chimpanzees operate a little bit differently. And with all that Christmas magic, it's still not a good idea for Santa Claus to get on those islands next to those chimps. Courtney, so the elves were asking, did any of the chimps make Santa Claus's naughty list this year?
Oh boy. Yeah, those chimps are very good at misbehaving sometimes. So on that specific day, Sabrina, she struggled a little bit to shift. So if there's any chimp I can say that was on the naughty list, it's probably Sabrina, but we love her anyway. Very stubborn, but we love her.
So we say shift. What exactly does that mean?
So we have the chimps on an island system. So when we say shift, it's basically moving them from one island to the next by like a bridge system that opens and closes.
So another question that I know that some of the students were writing in earlier is they love what you guys are doing and they think it's so cool. So Cody, how can they become a chimp keeper?
Takes a lot of years of hard work and dedication. Chimps are a very special creature, so they take a certain specialization. It takes a lot of patience to work with them. I actually worked my way up there. I worked here for 2 years before I finally got to work with chimpanzees. I did full college coursing and working with zoo animals. But you can work as long as up to 4 years to even get to where you need to be working with chimps. So it does take a while.
But is it worth it?
Absolutely. Every single day is every day is unique. It keeps you on your feet. Every day is exciting, and you get to work with these animals that you love.
I love that. Miss Chelsea, I have a question for you. So I saw that we got a ton of enrichments, right? But I know we weren't able to just take them right out to Chimp Islands. Was there a cleaning process first when we had all the students making these enrichments for Santa and the chimps?
Oh, yes, of course. So chimpanzees are very closely related to people, so that means that sometimes germs might transfer from us to them. So we wanted to make sure those were very clean. So what we did was once we got all of your enrichment from you guys, we went ahead and sanitized them using a cleaning system, and then we just let them sit and bake in the sun for a little bit because UV lights really don't clean those germs. And then once they were all cleaned and ready to go, then our chimp keepers went ahead and prepped them for the chimps.
Oh, that's fantastic. Courtney, I have a question for you. And my question is, if you had to pick one chimpanzee that you worked at that definitely made Santa's good and nice list, who would you say it was? And Cody, I have the same question once Courtney answers.
Well, I have to say Orbit. Orbit's one of our little ladies. She's very small and dainty and polite and sweet. She's sometimes a bit better at sharing than some of the other chimpanzees. She's just a very sweet and gentle chimp.
So she definitely made Santa's nice list then. Okay. What about you, Cody? Who do you think?
Well, my first immediate thought is a chimp that's not in that group. His name is Jacob. But to kind of touch on the individual unique personality, she mentioned that Orbit's kind of a little bit sweeter chimp. Jacob is also a nice little, if I would describe him as, he's kind of like that little sweet, quiet boy that kind of just does no wrong. He's always the one you want to spoil, give that extra treats to because he's just a nice guy. He's a nice boy. He can do no wrong.
It sounds like Jacob really deserves to stay on Santa's nice list, huh?
He really does. I can't ever see him not being on.
Oh, that's very sweet to hear. And I'm sure that makes Santa very happy that Jacob is good all year long. So the last couple questions is, Miss Chelsea, I wanted to ask you is, why is this so important for us to do?
Of course, yes. So enrichment is something like Cody was mentioning that keeps all of our animals thinking and engaged, but it also helps stimulate those natural behaviors that you'd see these animals doing in the wild. So doing all of these enriching activities is great for all of our animals. And then Christmas with the chimps with Palm Beach County School District is just wonderful for us because we love to see how creative all of you all get. And also, use those STEM standards to make those enrichments, and some of them are like engineering feats. It's amazing. So it's very important for us to make you guys as passionate as we are here for the animals in our care. And what better way than to have you make enrichments for them?
And I do want to mention to all of the students that are listening or who will be tuning in later to this, again, we want to just say thank you all so much for helping us. You have no idea how much of a huge help this was for Santa and the elves because, listen, right now, this is their busy season. They got a lot going on, and it's really difficult for them to make sure that they get all the presents out. So there were some incredible presents that we saw where our team was really impressed about. And I could tell that some of you all even did some STEM enrichments, which was fantastic as well. So we want to say thank you all again from the bottom of our hearts here at Lion Country Safari. And we cannot wait to see everybody back here next year to do the same thing and probably do, but this time I think Santa already was talking to us about next year that it might be a little bit different because he might be recruiting some more help from all of you guys. So hopefully we can have the students in Palm Beach County continue to help us with that. But in the meantime, we hope everybody has an amazing holiday break. And thank you all again from the bottom of our hearts here at Lion Country Safari.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.